how to connect to your heart space and why is it so powerful. Hi, dear friends and YouTube community. I wanted to go live specifically on this platform. It's been a very beautiful, dynamic summer. And this topic of being connected to the heart space just kept ringing, just kept calling me, go and do a YouTube live stream. I'm about to drink cacao, which is a heart medicine. I already made a jar of cacao and I work with it on a regular basis to nourish the heart, to nourish the spiritual heart, emotional heart, right? Physical heart. And when it comes to connecting to the heart space on a daily basis, the reason why it's so powerful is because you start feeling more and more and more and more that profound feeling of unity with everything that's around you. Also, whenever you find yourself in difficulty making decisions or a lot of restlessness, or when the mind begins to chatter nonstop, the way to stop that or shift it around is to come to your heart space, right? Make that journey from the head to the heart. Some people say that's the longest journey we will ever make. And I can see that because if we have never been taught, if we've never been given, like a curriculum, this is how you live from the heart. If you lived mostly prioritizing your intellect, and that's so many of us have lived this way, to find an experience of living in the heart space can be a great discovery. And the way that I connect with my heart space, if I think about someone I love or something I love, maybe it's a special place on this planet that when I think about that place, my heart begins to expand. So anything that opens and expands your heart, whenever you think about who you love, what you care about, who loves you unconditionally, that feeling of love and connection will naturally take you to the heart space. And when you're in the heart space, you also become more grounded, right? It's when we're in the head space, we're not grounded and we're spinning in our intellect or in our lower mind. When we are in the heart space, we're connected to all that exists. We are grounded and we're able to hear our inner guidance. All right. When we are in our heart space, not only we hear our inner guidance, eventually we begin to hear the mind of the cosmos. We begin to hear the specific guidance from the mind of the cosmos that says, pay attention to this, or read this book, pick up this phone and call this person, right? So the heart space. And I think about the cultures on our planet, since I am a big lover of wisdom, so much so that I tattooed the word wisdom on my arm. And I love wisdom because it's another word for enlightenment. When we are connected to our wisdom, we're able to see the reality clearly. We're able to recognize the reality as an expression of love, divine love. And we're able to see our place in reality clearly. We'll be able to navigate this world with more curiosity and more innocence and more openness, right? So that is why wisdom is such a profound, profound field to connect to. And we all have inner wisdom. We begin to access our heart space. We begin to access our inner wisdom that is connected to the heart. So when we go and travel places like Peru or India or Bali, these cultures have a lot of heart energy. Why? because these are the countries, or these are the places on this planet that have cultivated devotion to nature, devotion to the elements, devotion to spiritual life. Spiritual life is not something that you go to when you have time, or when you retire, or when your kids move out. Spiritual life is a pulse, is a thread that is weaved through everything. Spiritual life is at the center of your life. So that's why when we go to places like Peru or India or Bali, you are returning from there transformed. You're returning there changed. You're returning from there in a different way. Now this is the moment to drink cacao together with you. Whoever is here with me, welcome. You can engage with me in the chat. This is the beauty of a live stream option. And if you are new to my channel, hi everyone, it's Katerina Satori. You can find my work on Instagram, and the same name, Katerina Satori, or Facebook, even TikTok. Can you believe I'm on TikTok? I could not even believe that I got there. But I was inspired to establish my lighthouse on TikTok as well. Thank you so much for your comments and the crowns and the fire and a loving face. Thank you so much. I greet you from my heart to your heart. And this topic is how to connect to your heart space and why it's the key to manifesting all of your dreams. Let's talk a little bit about manifestation, because manifestation, truly, we are natural manifestors. We all manifest all the time. We can't stop manifesting. The challenge is so many of us manifest what we don't want, or we manifest randomly or unconsciously, kind of like, ugh, manifested that, but why did I manifest that? Right? Because there is very little direction, very little intention. But the more we wake up to who we are, the more we begin to realize the power of our attention, our intention, and the more we get excited to play and to co-create with reality. So conscious manifestation is intentional co-creation with reality, where we engage with the universe, with the quantum field around us, and we say, let's play, right? Let's create together. I am here in the physical. You are everywhere around me in non-physical. Let's partner up. Why I'm here? What would you like to express through me? So conscious manifestation is that intentional co-creation of your dreams and visions. When we are in our heart space, we're connected to true intentions, not the egoic drives or obsessions or chasing, even not even after your dream, right? Your heart will whisper to you what is for you to create, what is for you to experience. So the more we spend time in our heart space, and I'll just share with you a simple practice that I do that takes me there all the time. Visions, exactly, visions. Yeah, just sitting down and feel your heart, like feeling this heart space and inviting your heart to speak to you. I wrote it in my book. It was a very simple ritual, but I've learned in the very beginning of my journey. I was drawn to Eastern philosophy. I was very kind of, I wouldn't say traumatized. I just was very disillusioned from the religion that I was a part of for 10 years, right? So I was looking for philosophy. I left religion and I turned towards philosophy, specifically Eastern philosophy, because philosophy, felt very spacious. Philosophy was introducing different perspectives of how to see life, but philosophy didn't tell me this is the only way. And if you don't believe this way, you're going to burn in hell, right? Like religion, like a lot of religions say. So I moved towards Eastern philosophy and I took my very first meditation, Tibetan meditation class. And a teacher gave this very simple practice. He would say, simply sit down every day for 1 minute or 5 minutes, start where you at and feel your heart and ask your heart to grow. It's such a simple guidance, but I never considered that you can sit with your heart, ask your heart to grow, and that simple practice will change your life, will start you on a whole new path of a person who continues to open their heart. And then eventually, the curriculum, the soul curriculum that I have found myself in, is learning to remove the barriers and defenses around the heart that all of us have built just to survive teenage years. You got to protect that tender heart of the teenager, right? So we all built a lot of walls around the heart. And when we come to the spiritual path, we begin to dismantle those walls. And it may be quite a journey where you find another wall, you find another boulder. But eventually, where you learn to allow your heart to come to its fullness, you begin to feel this radical freedom of living with an undefended heart. You know, an awakened consciousness has this unbreakable heart because it doesn't think, or it realizes it's impossible to break the heart. Ego can break. The heart has a capacity to rebirth itself, to stretch, to include, to expand, and the heart has capacity to grieve deeply and to cleanse itself through grief, and then find joy in the most ordinary moment and find the way to lift itself up. I'm a big um, I'm a big lover of the heart wisdom. So how do we come to the heart space, and why is it the key to fulfillment of all our manifestation? When we're in our heart space, we are in connection with everything around us. And when we're in connection with everything around us, our true dreams and desires spontaneously get fulfilled without too much effort. We simply become playful participants of the great unfolding. And the heart begins to guide us. And one of my favorite sayings from another teacher that says, everything that's truly meant for you will never miss you. But for that to happen, you get to be in your heart. You get to be your authentic self. You get to lead with that undefended heart. And so then another heart who is a match to your heart will recognize your true self, right? Your authentic self. Let me know if you have any questions, since you and I are live here, right? The law of vibrational polarity. It's exactly, hey, exactly the law of vibrational polarities. We attract what we are in resonance with, and it's really beautiful. So the heart needs to be unburdened, and this connects to the Egyptian mystery school, where they would always say, when you approach death or your afterlife, your heart will be weighed against the feather of Maat, which is the goddess of justice, right? You goddess of mercy and justice and karma in the universe. So that made me thinking, it's very important for us to have a practice that cleanses the heart, the spiritual organ, the emotional organ, not just wait until we approach the portal of death, right? But really have a practice that we cleanse and unburden the heart. And the way that I do it, maybe it will inspire you. Do you believe Joshua was a yogi? Absolutely, he was a yogi. How he would not, he had to be a yogi to have this level of consciousness and oneness and self-realization. I believe he learned from the temple priestess of Isis, and he studied in Egypt to get all of his incredible cosmic consciousness abilities. But I think about cleansing of the heart. We can practice forgiveness. We can write things down on paper. I have found something about writing things on paper is so powerful. It's so simple. It's easy to overlook. What I'm here to share with you, I just recently found an envelope of something that I wrote 2 years ago on a full moon, on eclipse. actually sat down and wrote 4 pages of the things I chose to release, from old patterns, ancestral beliefs, small ideas about myself, fears of that, worries of that. Something about sitting down, becoming really intentional, giving all your attention to this process, writing it down on paper, and having that ritual. So I did not read that, what I wrote, for 2 years. And I just found it 2 days ago. And I opened the envelope and I read it. And I was in shock and in awe, because everything that I chose to declare to the universe, I was releasing out of my heart, out of my consciousness, is gone. So, really, really powerful, right? That's another way to unburden your heart and unburden your mind. And the third way is way of ritual, is what I often talk about: make an offering, and you can work with elements, you can work with flowers. One of my favorite ways to honor the sacred is to grow roses. And then when the roses bloom and they offer their petals, take those petals and go to any water, if you're close to the lake or a little spring or an ocean, and you make the offerings to the water. And the offerings become carriers of prayers. I've learned this shamanic tradition in Peru. If you go to Peru, anywhere in the Andes, people use coca leaves, right? These very special leaves of coca plant, and they pray with them, they blow to them, and they say, carry these prayers to the mountain deities, to the gods. Unfortunately, we don't have coca leaves here in the states where I live. It's not allowed for the silly, crazy reasons. So I work with flower petals and I bring them towards the ocean. All right. So I'm going to take a look at your questions since I'm here live with you. Mm-hmm. Yes. Um, Absolutely. You're my fellow mystic. Your name is Other Side. You raise the crystal soils to pineal. Yes, absolutely. We are the technology. And I love, when you travel to the ancient Egyptian temples, everything we need to know about immortality. Oh, hey Dennis, thank you for letting me know your name. Yeah, anything we want to know about immortality is encoded on the Egyptian temples. And when we learn to decode them, right? We learn to decode them. It's right there. It's just, here's the blueprint to awakening. Here's how to realize divinity while being in physical form. And yes, we start with breath. Yes, we start with connecting to our spine and clearing the blockages. And then all the temple teachings will lead us to the heart. They will say the heart is the alchemical cauldron where everything happens, right? And the heart doesn't know division. The mind divides. The heart only knows, I am here, I feel, I exist, I can connect to love at any moment. So when our heart eye awakens, it is a really powerful journey. You know, like the moment I realized the heart has an eye, just like how our pineal gland, the heart has an eye. And when it opens, it begins to open and open and open and create more and more space in our being, that eventually entire universe can see itself through you, through me. And that is a next level mystical experience when that happens, right? It totally is the strongest chakra. Took time to see it. Auras of Avese. Yes, it is the strongest chakra. I agree with you. It's just so powerful. All right. So this is the way of the heart. I am here with you. Thanks so much for connecting with me on YouTube. I know some of my community members only watch my content on YouTube, so it's really amazing to connect with you here. And always open for suggestions. If you have questions, if you have topics on videos, I'm, you know, I'm in the constant cycle of evolution, like everybody, like you. So what I speak about constantly expands and evolves, but kind of three pillars remain the same. I often give a voice to ancient wisdom teachings, deep mysticism, soul ascension, right? This deep transformation on the level of the soul. I often talk about, um, truly mastery, development of your highest potential. And from time to time, I also speak about energy and energy work and awakening of your healing abilities. All right, Dennis, you have some cool videos. Thanks so much. So, did you have to fast to raise Kundalini? Yes. Yes. I started my fasting experience not because I wanted to raise Kundalini. I was going through a health challenge, um, like in my late 20s, and my body was really inflamed. I didn't know the cause of it. I just felt constantly fatigued, brain fog. I just didn't feel good. So I came to a raw food lifestyle movement and I discovered juicing and I just dove into it. And I remember I did my very first fast. I think it was like 5 day of juicing or 3 day of water. I don't remember right now, but I felt so good. I felt so clear. I felt like there was this cooling of my entire system. So I was obsessed with juicing and with raw food lifestyle for a while. And not knowing on conscious level what was happening, I was preparing myself for Kundalini awakening. So I have found that when our higher self is ready to awaken this personality, it will just naturally guide us to change of diet, to fasting, to removing toxins, right? Because the body needs to be prepared for Kundalini to awaken 100%. 100%. And then what was happening for me is I start working with the plant medicine. I've been working with very, very strong visionary plants such as ayahuasca, and I've been working with those for many years. So I kept receiving my Kundalini awakenings through those experiences. And then, of course, sacred sexuality is the third piece, right? So it's like you change in your diet, you start working with psychedelics. And then the third piece, you start practicing sacred sexuality. And that begins to awaken your Kundalini even more. And then it's just Kundalini awakening is infinite. There is no stopping that, right? Which is, to me, it's very exciting. If you know how to approach that energy gradually, it doesn't happen all the time. But what I've learned is to recognize the symptoms, like, oh, it's happening. I'm about to enter a new round of Kundalini awakening. You just start tracking the signs. Your body, your dreams, your like this kind of a heating energy is happening. You're ready to go to a new round. Really powerful. Mhm. Really, really powerful. Any other questions? It's been so hot. Speaking about Kundalini, I want to show you. I have a Kundalini stone from Shasta. You ready? Serpentine from Shasta. Look at this. How amazing. So recently, my home temple received a lot of new crystals. I have a dear friend who is, I wouldn't call her nomadic, but she lives on both coasts. And so she doesn't have a permanent home. She's kind of like traveling. She's like, Katerina, do you want to be a guardian of my crystals? She brought me all these unique crystals, and I did a video about it. All I can tell you, entire home vibration just raised through the crystals. So this is serpentine, right? And it's a Kundalini stone, and it comes from Shasta. I've been holding it and being with it and just feeling it. It's just so powerful. Yeah. So, but it's been a very hot summer. So I keep moving my hair because it's just so hot. I don't know where you are located. I'm in California. I'm close to the water, and it's still been one of the hottest summers we've had. The good thing, I was able to swim a lot this year. I was able to dive into the ocean and not dive. I was able to go into the ocean and get some waves on me because the Pacific Ocean is not warm. It's chilly. So only when it gets really warm, I go in. Okay, so you grew up in LA, so you know it's not like a Hawaii ocean, right? All right, my loves, I'm gonna go on a long walk, but I'm so glad I was able to say hi to you and to connect on this YouTube channel. If you'd like to connect with me outside of this platform, I have an email list that you can join. So feel free to join me and just see the links underneath this video and in my bio. And I'll see you soon on the next video. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening.